I can remember my one friend growing up didn't have a very good home life. So my friend's mother was always so sweet to this girl, and she was always over their house. She appreciated the love that this other mom kind of showered on her. And so she was very mothering to her, even though she was her neighbor. I would have been able to adopt if I wasn't able to have children. They would have been my children, no matter what.
I think there's just a stronger fundamental nurturing role for the mother and for motherhood.
I would describe motherhood as a life adventure. You never really know exactly where it's going to go. I went to school for business originally, and I was working in the business world in corporate. I stopped after I had my second child. The goal was really always to stay home. I had a nanny for the first year with my oldest, and then once I knew I was pregnant with my second, I knew I was going to quit and stay home. When you have your first kid, it's like 100% focus just on that baby.
Kathy was born, we were going on the first flight. Mom made sure that she had multiple changes of clothes for Kathy, and Kathy didn't throw up on herself, she threw up on Anne. Of course, she didn't have a change of clothes for her. We prepared everything for the child.
It does get a little hectic when the kids are little. People's advice is always take it slow, enjoy it, it goes so fast, and it's really true. It really does. As the kids get older, you kind of learn that you kind of have to let go, and that's definitely a balancing act, and it's not always easy to know. It is a lot of work to raise a family, to have a home, to be a wife.
We never get paid what the value of motherhood is, because if you look at traditionally the kind of nurturing types of roles out there, nurses, teachers, stuff like that, they don't make anywhere near as much as a director of product management at some Fortune 500 company.
I really wouldn't put like a salary on it because it's a choice. It was just something I wanted to do, so I never really even thought of quantifying it. I'm not saying it's not hard work to be home with your kids. It is. Being a stay-at-home mom doesn't make you a better mom than somebody who's working full-time. It's a matter of where your priorities are, and working moms can still put their families first.
Some families have finances where they keep them separate and everybody has their own money and they chip in. We've never operated it like that. Everything is joint property, joint owned, one checking account. When you look at things like getting paid leave for 6 months to nurture your child, I think that there's value in those types of programs. I think the U.S. is a little bit behind on that kind of stuff. Back in the day, there was no paternal leave, so you basically use vacation time. I think the challenge is when you don't have a strong extended family union. We were fortunate in that we had parents alive. Mom had sisters, you had people that had been through it before. More the issue is single mothers, families that have other issues, financial issues, not strong extended family units, where a lot of people are like, oh, well, they should just deal with it. Not everybody gets to just deal with it. So having a structure to help through that, especially early on, is really important, particularly people that are just less supported.
I went back to school for teaching, actually. When my kids were in school and I was active in the PTA, I just kind of was pretty impressed with more so the principal, who had like a full view of how the school worked and the relationship with the teachers and the parents, and kind of wanted to be part of that system. And I only wanted to go back and become a teacher when I knew I had the time, because I knew if I was going to do it, I wanted to be a good teacher. I think I look as a father as the more protective one. I'm going to protect my family and I'm going to make sure no harm comes to them. My father was the ultimate disciplinarian. My mother would discipline, but we were with my mom all the time, but we would give her a much harder time. So a father in my history has gotten a lot more respect.
I'm worried about financial planning for the family. How are we going to put the kids through college and how are we going to retire? My role as a father was to care about that. I would never view it as I'm the man in the house, king of the castle. I had no problem with changing diapers and pitching in. When we had Kathy, Anne was in the hospital like one day and then they sent us home, and we got to our house and we brought her into the living room and we put her down in the living room, and Anne and I were sitting like next door and Kathy was in the middle of us, and we're looking at each other like, what the heck do we do now?
They say it's a job. I was always happy to have that job, and it's been rewarding.